Hello everybody, Steve here from Cigar Connoisseur, here to demonstrate for you a new feature that I've added to the product called the import and export feature. I want to apologize to you guys, I'm a little bit under the weather, I've got a cold going here, so please bear with me. This feature I put into the product so that you can quickly and easily export your current inventory data to a CSV or Excel compatible CSV file, send it to yourself or pick it up off the phone, and re-import that data in case you want to put that data onto another device, or if you lost your data or deleted the app accidentally and you wanted to bring your data back. This is a good way to do it. Also, for other customers who have asked, they've got larger inventories and they didn't want to use the interface to enter in all of that data. This is a good way. They can type it out in Excel and import it right into the app, and I'll show that to you now. There are two ways for you to get the data, current data, out of the phone. If you go to your HUMIDORS, this is test data, this is actually not my phone, your cigar list, you've got a cigar list here. Come back to the menu. It used to be in reports, but now if you go to settings, you'll see the import export data button here. You have two choices. You can, or actually several choices with exporting the data. You can air print it, which won't be any good for this demonstration, but if you wanted to air print it, it'll hit a printer nearby and give you paper, which you may want. You can email the inventory, and if you click the email inventory button, basically the CSV file that we're talking about will be placed in an email, and you can send it to yourself or anybody else that you want by creating an email. I'll delete that. The other thing you can do is export the inventory. And if you click Inventory Export, it will drop a file called Cigar Inventory Export.csv into the Documents directory and be accessible via iTunes. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you, it'd be the exact same file that you would have gotten had you clicked the email button, but let's try it this way because everybody knows how to email, and this might be a little new for us. So let's export this file. Alright, the Cigar Inventory Export was written to the Documents directory. Okay, great. Now we're going to go pick that up from the iTunes file sharing, and I'm going to show you how to use that in just a second. Okay, now we are in iTunes. You notice I got my iPhone over here. By clicking this little icon, you get your iPhone. You have your summary, apps, music, movies, all this kind of stuff. Apps on my test device that I use for development. And if I slide down to the bottom, you will see under File Sharing, Cigar Connoisseur. If you don't see Cigar Connoisseur under File Sharing, you haven't got the latest version, and you should go to the App Store and update it. Update your app, you'll get the latest version. When you click on Cigar Connoisseur, you will see the Cigar Inventory Export file that we just created with the export function of the app. If you click that right there, highlight it, and then click Save To, it will ask to save it here. I'm going to save it to my desktop. I've already done it once, so I'm going to replace it. And it saves it out. Now we've got it on our desktop, and I will show you how to modify this file so that we can import it into the app in just a minute. Thanks. Okay, as you can see, I've got the file opened in Excel, but what you didn't see me do is I took my Cigar Inventory Export.csv file, made a copy, and renamed the copy to Cigar Inventory Import.csv. The app will be expecting an import.csv file, not an export one. It'll export, excuse me, that's funny. It will write out an export.csv, but expects a Cigar Inventory import.csv on the way in. Makes sense, right? Alright, so we're going to modify this file now, make some modifications to it so I can show you how it works. You'll notice in the first line, you've got these titles here: cigar, humidor, quantity, ring gauge, box code, buy date, price, source, ready to smoke, and average rating. Do not modify this row at all, because if you do, the import will not work. It will fail. Leave that stuff alone. Average rating is just a column that's going to be there. You're not going to actually do anything with that, but again, don't touch it. The cigar names you see here. Now this is the file I just exported. You can see example of humidor, quantity, ring gauge, box code, so forth and so on. Now, the cigar name, there's some rules that we need to follow here. The cigar name must always be populated. This must always be populated. If it's not, the import on this row will fail. The humidor can be blank, but if it's blank, it will write the word humidor in there. The quantity needs to be a number that makes sense. It can't be a negative number or a letter or a word. Same for ring gauge. Box code can be blank or any kind of string you want to put in there if you care about box codes. The buy date, or any date, must be in the format mm/dd/yy, just as you see here, month/date, day/year. Price, again, needs to be a number that makes sense, not a word, not a letter, not a symbol, not negative. Source is a bunch of characters, whatever you want to put in here, as I made up some data. And ready to smoke date, same thing. You need to put in a date in the correct format, dd/mm, mm/dd/yy. This is what I get when I do these videos when I'm not feeling well. Okay, so let's say, for example, we're going to make some, now if I import this file right back into the app, it'll work perfectly just as it is, because I exported it, it came out of the app like this, and it will go into the app, and it will basically duplicate everything that's in there. So I will have twice the amount of cigars that are in there now, and everything will be duplicated. This will be in there twice, this will be in there. You know, you don't want that. So I've made, this is like I don't know, 500 rows of data. Let's say you just wanted to import your own stuff, so you wanted to use this as a template. You can literally come up here and delete these. Okay. So we're going to delete all of these things. Oh, that sucked. Hold on, try that again. Whoop. Come back up. Come on. Get out of there. Alright. So now we're only going to import these cigars here. And let's say I added another one and I called it Steve's Test Cigar. And I'm going to say it's in my humidor. I have a Colibri humidor. And how many of these cigars do I have? I have 10. The ring gauge is 52. Love that. There is no box code. I bought them on the 16th. And they were $10.25 each. And the source was Habana Cigar House. Just do this. HCH. Ready to smoke right away. They're ready to smoke on September 1st. Average rating we can ignore. So basically, I've added that cigar. All right, and that's going to come in. And so you can use this template to type in as many cigars as you want and import them as opposed to using the interface. And this will be much quicker for you to type these in. Or I've got one of my customers wants to. One of the customers uses the app wants to put 1,000 rows in. That's a lot of data, and using the interface will take forever. So before I do this, I'm going to make some mistakes here to show you what happens when you screw it up. So we're going to delete this because that's going to create an error. We're going to make a mistake in every row. Okay, so that was a mistake. I told you that cigar name needs to be there. I'm going to make this quantity in this row a negative number, 15. Whoops. Right, there we go. No. And then in this row, let's screw up the date and make it some characters. Then in this row, we can screw up the price and this date over here. So we'll do this, minus 25, and then we'll ready to smoke date. Gosh, I hate this. Sorry. Minus 25. Hey, quit it. So minus 25. This is okay. Is this just me that's going crazy here? Here, so make this error. I'll put in that. That'll break it. And then the ready to smoke date, I'll put in here. There we go. And now I will save this file. The file cannot be accessed. Cigar inventory import. Here we go. Yep. Documents, CSV. Replace. There we go. Now it's replaced. Okay, so now you see we've got these errors. We made an error here, an error here, an error here, and an error here. And we added our test cigar. So now we'll go back into the app, and I'll show you how to import this data that we just created. And how many do we have total? We have 10 lines, but they won't all import because we added some errors. So in a moment, we will try that, and I will show you how that works. Okay, so you've noticed we are now back in iTunes. Let me go back to my iPhone and click on your Apps button. Slide all the way down to the file sharing, Cigar Connoisseur. Click it, and you'll see Files. Now what we're going to do, this is the Cigar Connoisseur Documents directory. What we're going to do is add the import file we just modified to this folder right here. So you just click Add, right? This pops up here. I'm going to grab the Cigar Inventory Import, and I'm going to add it. Bang. It just put it right in there. It's saved. That's all you have to do. Now we can go back to the app and import it. The app will now be able to see it. If the app tells you that it cannot find this file, you didn't add it to this documents directory correctly, or it isn't named properly. It needs to be named Cigar Inventory Import, I-M-P-O-R-T. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the app and run the import. Okay, so now that we have added the Cigar Inventory Import.csv to the Cigar Connoisseur Documents directory through iTunes, we are now back in the app, and we're going to import it. So you go to Settings, Import Export Data, and you click Import Inventory. It's going to tell you you're about to run the import. Please ensure you have placed the Cigar Inventory Import in the Documents directory via iTunes. This activity cannot be interrupted once it has begun. So if you load a giant file, if you load 1,000 rows, it will take a little bit of time if you're using an older iPhone, like an iPhone 5. They're slower than the iPhone 6s. And you shouldn't interrupt it, or you can end up with mixed results. You just let it go till it's finished, and then continue to use the phone. The other thing is, you be very, very careful with this function, okay? Because if you import accidentally 500 rows that you didn't want, or 500 rows of cigar data that you didn't want, you got to go through them in the interface and delete them by hand, which I'm sure everybody knows how to do. You just swipe it with your thumb and hit delete, and that's a lot of deleting. So be very, very careful about using this. It's a tool, but it isn't for the faint of heart. Okay, so we're going to import this file that we created, and it says it imported really quickly. Actually, there's only 10 rows. 6 out of 10. Check Cigar Inventory Import Errors.csv in iTunes to view the data that failed and correct. So when Cigar Connoisseur detects it's an error in the data that you're trying to import, it will ignore that row and continue importing the rest of them. So it won't throw out the whole file. It'll just keep going. And I got 6 of them out of 10 because remember we took that file and we broke some things. So let's check the Cigar Inventory Import Errors in iTunes to view the data and correct. Alright, so let's go back to iTunes. Okay, so now we are back in the iTunes, and I've clicked on my phone and my apps. And as you slide down here, you see Cigar Connoisseur, and here is the error file that just got created. Pretty easy. Highlight it, save to. I'm going to save it to my desktop, right there, and we'll go take a look at this file. There we go. Okay, so now we have double-clicked the Cigar Inventory Import Errors CSV file, and we opened it in Excel, and you'll see the 4 rows it wrote out that we broke. Remember this? We did this previously. Now this one, if you look at the row here, it will tell you the error in this column, which is cigar name is blank. Can't do it, so it threw out the row. So it rewrote it back out and said the cigar name is blank. Over here, it said quantity must be a number greater than 0, because we left a 0 in there. Not good. Over here, the buy date must be blank or in the format mm/dd/yy. What do we put in there? We put some garbage in the buy date. And here, on this one, we made 2 errors. We said price must be we put the price here, not a number, must be a number greater than 0, and the ready to smoke date. We broke that too. Date must be blank or in the format mm/dd/yy. What you can do is you can make these corrections. For example, cigar name, and call it a, I don't know, Fuente Opus X, and correct these errors, these rows, delete the thing, and copy it after you fix them. Basically, copy them, back into the import file a new one, a blank one, of course. So you just only get these runs that you wanted to fix and re-import them, or do them by hand, either way. But I hope this makes sense. So what you want to do is copy these out after you fix them. You know, we would come through here. We would say, wait, we fixed that. Quantity must be a number greater than 0. All right, well, that's 10. You know, so forth and so on. And we're going to delete this because now we fix that error. What was this one? Buy date must be blank or in the format. Okay, so 12, 22, 15, and so forth. And there we go. So buy date is fixed. And that's good. And so forth and so on. And then once you fix these rows, I'm not going to do it here. I don't want to take up all your time. I think you're getting it. You're going to take this here, copy it out, paste it back into your import file, a blank one, which will only have this header. That's it. And copy these back in, re-import the data, and you should be good to go. So let's go into the app and take a look at what our result was. Okay, so here we are back in the app, and we will check our cigar listing to see how many we imported. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And you can see at the bottom that Steve's test cigar that we added in the Colibri Humidor quantity of 10. It's all in there correctly as it should have been. And we imported the 6 rows that came in out of the 10 because the other 4 we broke in our demonstration. And what you can do is, it's a good way to import lots of data at once. If you'd rather type it out into an easy format, as I had one person request, that's why we added this feature. If you've got a large stock and you'd rather type it out and pull it in quickly, this is a way to do it. Just be very, very careful, because if you export your data file and you've got 500 rows, and then you add one and you import it, you're going to add another 501 rows. So you'll end up with 1,001 rows, and it's an easy mistake to make. So be very, very careful with this. Make sure you know what you're doing when you import this data. And I've been asked if we were going to do the same thing for tasting notes and such. We might. It depends upon how much interest I get on it. So let me know your feedback. Any questions, please contact me. Always glad to help. And thank you for trying Cigar Connoisseur. Happy smoking.